Something terrible is happening in Japan. National debt, population crisis, economic collapse, and we can continue on and on. Japan has a lot of problems. Everywhere you look, there is something terrible is going on. With these rates, Japan is completely collapsing. But will Japan completely collapse and disappear? Let's explain how bad the situation really is. So, Elon Musk recently expressed his concerns about the dramatic decline in Japan's population, particularly focusing on the country's falling birth rate. In a tweet, Musk highlighted the severity of the situation, noting that Japan's population is on a downward trend, primarily due to a birth rate that has dropped below the replacement level. This means that, without immigration, Japan's population is shrinking, a problem Musk believes needs urgent attention. He emphasized the gravity of the situation with a straightforward statement: Japan is disappearing. Japan's rapidly aging population and plummeting birth rate are creating a population freefall, as Musk put it, leaving a shrinking workforce and economic instability in its wake. And if we look at the numbers, Japan had hit its record low drop in population from 644,000 to 125.5 million in 2021. The population totaled at 125,502,000 as of the beginning of October, down 644,000 from a year earlier, for the 11th consecutive year of decline. Replying to Ad Holmar's blog, Musk tweeted, "At the risk of stating the obvious, unless something changes to cause the birth rate to exceed the death rate, Japan will eventually cease to exist. This would be a great loss for the world." This was the biggest drop in recorded history since the 1950s. A number of factors can contribute to this decline in population. The most hypothesized ones are, firstly, a decline in foreign residents due to tighter border protocols over the recent crisis, and secondly, a steadily aging society which hosts less of the younger demographic. Note that in recent years, Japan has seen population growth with nearly 831,000 births, but it's been overruled by nearly 1.5 million deaths. As the census indicates, a record high of nearly 30% of the population were age 65 and above, while those 14 and below accounted for a record low of approximately 12%. And the main root of this crisis can be traced back to several interrelated factors. Post-World War II, Japan experienced a remarkable economic boom, leading to increased urbanization and a shift in societal values. This transformation brought about changes in lifestyle preferences, with a growing emphasis on career over family life, particularly among women. The advancement in healthcare and technology also contributed to increased life expectancy, resulting in a higher proportion of the elderly. By 2023, Japan's population was estimated to have shrunk for the 12th consecutive year, with a record low number of births in 2022. The consequences of this demographic shift are profound and multifaceted. Economically, a shrinking workforce has led to a labor shortage, impacting Japan's productivity and economic growth. This situation is exacerbated by the increasing dependency ratio, with a smaller working-age population supporting a growing elderly population. Socially, the strain on healthcare and pension systems is immense, as these systems were designed for a younger population distribution. With that, Japan's national debt problem is a significant economic challenge, stemming from a combination of demographic shifts, deflationary pressures, and policy decisions. The country has one of the highest levels of public debt in the world when measured as a percentage of its gross domestic product. And the consequences of Japan's national debt are multifaceted and complex. Despite the high debt levels, Japan has managed to avoid a fiscal crisis, largely because a significant portion of its debt is held domestically. This domestic ownership means that the risk of a sudden loss of confidence from international investors is lower. Moreover, the Bank of Japan's policy of maintaining extremely low interest rates has kept the cost of servicing the debt relatively manageable. However, the sustainability of this approach is a subject of debate. The low interest rate environment, while helpful in managing debt costs, also poses challenges for savers and financial institutions. Furthermore, Japan's brain drain issue, where young, skilled workers immigrate to seek better opportunities abroad, is a growing concern, exacerbating the country's existing demographic and economic challenges. This trend is driven by several factors, including the search for more dynamic work environments, higher salaries, and broader career opportunities that are often perceived to be more readily available overseas. The traditional Japanese corporate culture, known for its rigid hierarchy, long working hours, and slow career progression, contrasts sharply with the more flexible and often more rewarding work environments found in countries like the United States and those in Europe. And the consequences of this brain drain are multifaceted and pose significant challenges for Japan. As young, talented individuals leave, the country faces a loss of innovation potential and a shrinking pool of skilled labor, which is particularly problematic given Japan's already aging population and declining workforce. This exacerbates the difficulties in sustaining economic growth and maintaining Japan's global competitiveness in various high-tech and knowledge-intensive industries. One of the stronger parts of the economy for Japan is still remaining export of the products. In spite of the fact that the Made in Japan label never was synonymous with luxury and excellence, Japanese products often commanded premium prices in the global market. This was particularly true in sectors like automobiles and consumer electronics, where Japanese brands were seen as leaders in innovation and reliability. In these sectors, Made in Japan became a label that consumers associated with products that were worth paying more for, due to their expected longevity, performance, and advanced features. The country's economic structure has been heavily reliant on exports, which has contributed significantly to its GDP. And many experts are saying that exporting products can be a significant factor in strengthening the Japanese economy. A robust export sector contributes to job creation and income generation, stimulating domestic consumption and investment. This, in turn, leads to a more dynamic and resilient economy. It's interesting to point out that the identical issue exists in China. In 2022, China's population was around 1.4 billion, a decrease of 850,000 from 2021. This decline is attributed to a reduced birth rate. Over the past 6 years, there has been a consistent decrease in the number of newborns. Presently, for every 1,000 individuals in China, only 6.7 babies are born. Experts anticipated this trend, but the rate and severity of the decline are more significant than expected. So this trend is happening throughout the world. But regarding Japan, the critical question is, as the population sharply falls, who will fill the roles with professionals across various sectors? Who will replace retired doctors, engineers, nurses? No one. And that's it for today. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell.